Good evening and welcome to the fourth live session of the year. This is Mary Joseph, your friendly and frank New Zealand licensed immigration advisor, and I'm going live from Hamilton and New Zealand, and this is where we are based. AJV Services is a New Zealand-based company. We are New Zealand owned and operated, and we're proud to have a big, amazing team located in India, and we are a migration services and an education company. So this is a little bit of brief about us. And so this is 10:31 in New Zealand time. So most of you must be watching this live from India and the other countries across this Indian subcontinent, around the Indian subcontinent. So it's 3 p.m. there. So I hear it's pretty cold in India at the moment, and I've got a lot of complaints. I've got my family back there too, and they've been complaining it's pretty cold and cold and cold. And then we're having scorching heat wave over here in New Zealand. It's pretty warm. It's 30 degrees, but it's very, very hot because I'm not sure if you're aware that we don't have the ozone layer above New Zealand, so the burn factor is very, very high. So 30 degrees is pretty hot for us, guys. So yeah, it's been a very, very warm summer. So I've got all my windows and the doors open so that it keeps us cool. But yeah, it's been a nice few days. It's been hot, but it's the weather's otherwise good. Not much happening in terms of any activity on the immigration front, but but then the most critical aspect at this stage will be the February intake, February 2019 intake, big intake. The first big intake of the year is the January, February, March intake. My team, just before I came on this live, I did check with my team and say, "Hey guys, what's the topic you want me to start off with?" And they advised that we really need to create an urgency and tell everyone who's looking at the February, March intakes this year, you have to absolutely put your visa applications in right now. We've been talking to a lot of people. We've been getting updates from Immigration New Zealand. They're taking on an average anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks for a visa application. But if your application is ready and if your application is has all ticked all the boxes, and you're going to a very, very good school, you're going to a good university, we will be able to put in a special request to fast track it, because usually intakes for a university course is only twice a year. So if you miss February, it's going to be July, and some of the courses don't even have an intake in July. So we can request Immigration New Zealand for some special preference on these cases. So I get a special shout out to all of you who are looking at going for the Feb and March intakes. You have to act now. You cannot sit on your application. You cannot think that the visa is going to come through in a few days and I've got so and so connections, or I'm applying through so and so. It doesn't work that way. Immigration New Zealand's dealing with 3,500 applications as a backlog. This is the update that we got today from the immigration office. Also, the other problem is immigration. All the applications from across the globe for student visas is coming to INZ Mumbai, because of which also there's a lot of pressure on the team to be able to put applications through. But then you cannot have a guarantee that your application will be prioritized, or it will happen. So lucky, so far we have been lucky. We've been using our strengths of putting in full proper applications, and we've been getting outcomes of our visa applications quickly. That's because we are ensuring that our applications go decision ready. That's what we call it. So we do a lot of due diligence into we ensure that the application is only goes through those tick boxes quickly, so that an immigration officer is able to quickly decide on the application without having to take a lot of time. So that is what we are doing from our end to ensure that we don't tax Immigration New Zealand, and we get our updates quickly. So that's what it is, right? So So that's the first topic of the day. The second topic that I am going to start off with is any one of you. We hear a lot of declines happening for other countries. We hear a lot of declines, unfair declines or bona fide based declines for other countries and for New Zealand itself. So if any of you sitting there watching this live session today have have a visa declined, guys, please contact us. We are very very good in cracking these kind of challenges, because we've had a very very good success with people who have got declined for other countries or even for New Zealand. So we've had very very good successes. So talk to us. If you've got a visa decline, come to us. We will see if New Zealand can happen to you for you. And because see, if you've applied for another country, more or less your documents are all ready. You must have taken IELTS. Your funds may be ready or your loan may be ready. So talk to us. There's a possibility we can get you in within the first 6 months of the year itself. So talk to us. All those who have rejections, doesn't matter for visa declines for any other country or even for New Zealand, please talk to us. Yeah, we'll be able to assist you. So that's the second point. And the third one is, yes, we have heard from a lot of schools that they are offering pathway programs for people who are not able to meet IELTS requirements. So they are giving a pathway program where you can do a few weeks of English and then move on to the mainstream program. So the schools also are not 100% confident about this at the moment, because it's a new area they're exploring. But then that is definitely a possibility. So talk to us if you have not met English requirements. Talk to us and we can see how we can help you out. The other important thing that we have today, I had a meeting with MIT, which is Manukau Institute of Technology, which is one of the largest polytechnics here in Auckland. So I had a meeting with the international marketing manager Kerry and Ia Jaza, who handle most of the markets. Ia handles all the the world markets like Kenya and Zambia and Iran, Iraq, all these other countries. So we were talking to them today. I was having a meeting with them, and they told me that if anyone who is willing to come to New Zealand and is looking for a program on the long-term skill shortage list, especially engineering students, because there are not a lot of programs that are there on the long-term skill shortage list. And with the new policy, if you need to bring your spouse along on an engineering program, you will either have to do a master's, which will be pretty expensive at a university. It'll cost you about 28 to $30,000 per annum. So if you have to do a level 9 program, it's going to be pretty expensive. However, you can get in a cross credit or a credit recognition into a bachelor's program, which will meet the requirement, and also you can bring your spouse along on that course. So I've discussed with Kerry, and she tells me that they have been able to successfully give out of the 3 years of the bachelor's, they were able to give 2 years recognition, and a student can go straight into the third year, so that you can study 1 year, graduate with another New Zealand bachelor's degree, and get 3 years work permit, plus have your spouse along with you on a work visa. So this is a definite possibility. However, BTech students may get less credits, but BE students can get straight into the third year. So this is what Kerry has told, and she said that they've had a great success with visas as well. So please talk to us. This is possible, and you please connect with us, and we will make it happen. All you engineering students, IT, sorry, not IT. IT directly we have masters, which is 1.5 years. So that's not a problem at government polytechnics at a very low fee. So that is no problem. But all those who are non-IT engineering, so that is civil, electrical, and power, and mechanical engineers, please talk to us and we'll be able to create a pathway for you, because we've got this understanding with MIT and they are willing to help us out, right? So yes, now moving on, I think we've started getting some questions, some queries. Before I move on, as I said the previous time, that we need to have a license to provide immigration advice. So my license number is 2018011050. You can go up on the IA registry, and this is my license. So you can go up on the IA registry and check if my license is authentic or not. And yeah, so that's how it is. So you guys will need to understand that you cannot take advice from non-licensed advisors except for student visas. So please be aware of that and connect with us accordingly. Now, before I start off with the questions, there's a request. All those watching this on YouTube, please leave your numbers. Only then my team will be able to paste those queries here on Facebook, or you can come to Facebook and post your questions here. So also, all those asking questions on Facebook, it'll be great if you can leave your numbers along, or you can inbox me your numbers. The other thing you could do is AJV students, AJV clients who are in New Zealand or in your home country, please start off your questions saying I'm an AJV client. It'll be easier for me to answer your questions and cross check with the team before I answer to your questions, right? So moving on, let's start with the first one. We've got Laser Angelo. Looks like he's from Sri Lanka. He says, "Hi, what is the good way for newly married couple to migrate to New Zealand? If one person go for studies, what is the better way? After finished studies or during studies, can your company do student and dependent visas both together or later on?" Laser, that's what I started off saying. Yes, there are a lot of programs where you can come together as a couple. Now, yes, with newly married couples, there's a bit of a problem because you are expected to live together before coming to New Zealand. However, we have discussed this issue with Immigration New Zealand, where we come from very orthodox, and conservative, backgrounds and countries where it's not possible to live together prior to getting married. So in these situations, we have worked out a way out with Immigration New Zealand how to present your files. So yes, we can apply for your visas together, right? And one of you can take up study, and the other will most likely be eligible for a visa to a company. Now, whether it's going to be a work visa or a visitor visa, that will be dependent on a lot of other circumstances. But yes, you can apply together, and we are a company, as I said, only a licensed immigration advisor is supposed to provide immigration advice on any other visas apart from student visas. So especially you Sri Lankan students, please be very, very careful, because uh, I am my colleague Gisela. She's an expert with the Sri Lankan market, and she tells me that the biggest problem with Sri Lanka is people go to unlicensed advisors, and these people take money and cheat them, and eventually, when your visa is declined, Immigration New Zealand knows that you have not done the right thing the first time, and it puts an unnecessary flag on your app, on your profile. So please be careful about that. Yeah, and all connect with us, all you Sri Lankan viewers. Please ensure that you talk to us before you make the wrong choice of going to an unlicensed advisor and unnecessarily create problems on your case. So Angelo, please connect with us. Yes, we can certainly help you. I don't see any problems. Yes, we will need to figure out what's the best way. However, please connect with us and we can see what can be done. Moving on. Irshad, hi, this is Irshad Hussain from India, looking for doctorate degree from Victoria University in subject of history. Please guide me. Brilliant university. Yeah, if you're planning to do PhD, that's very good. PhD is a slightly lengthier process than a postgraduate or a bachelor's degree qualification. You're expected to have publications, you're expected to have very high levels of English, and you're expected to have a research proposal before you connect with the professor. So unlike the other applications, you cannot directly apply for a PhD. You will need to first find a supervisor or a guide for yourself, a mentor, and then if a professor is willing to be your supervisor, that's when you can apply and make a formal application to the university. So that's how a PhD application works. We can certainly assist you with this process. We work with the Victoria University closely, so we may be able to give you some connections, some contacts there and guide you through. So, Ishaq, please give us your details so that my team can reach out and help you. Yeah. Mickey Dogra. Mickey's asking, can I need a job. Mickey, I'm not sure if you have watched our previous sessions. We do not have employment or job search services at the moment. Also, it is very, very difficult to apply for a job while you are overseas, because the employers expect you to be in the country with a valid visa for them to offer a job. So, I would recommend you to connect with my team and understand what pathways are available for you, Mickey. And then they'll be able to guide you through and see what you're eligible for. So please connect with my team. Yeah. Rohit Arora says, hi ma'am, want to know about the scope of supply chain logistics management. This is this is one question that I think I've come across every session since I started. And I'm not sure if people are, doing enough of research or really, seeing the other videos before coming online. However, Rohit, supply chain and logistics, procurement as such is in the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. Okay, so it is a skill that is required for long-term. However, you're expected to have some kind of an experience or background before you get into this area. Yeah, so yes, there's good scope. Yes, procurement managers are in requirement. Also, the country is we're an island country. We do not do a lot of manufacturing. We do not have the manpower to do mass manufacturing, because of which there's a lot of import export that happens to New Zealand to and fro. So because of that, there is definite requirement of logistics people and a supply chain. So there is a very good scope. The other place where you can check whether there is scope or not is careers.govt.nz. Yeah, so this is a website that has been developed by the government of New Zealand purely to provide insights on, or, on different occupations, on different jobs, how to get into the job, what are the average salaries. So it's called www.careers.govt.nz. It gives you a good idea as to how to start with a job opportunity and what kind of qualifications you're required to have and what are the average salaries. So it's a great website for you to do a bit of research, and I recommend you to look into it. Right, and moving on. Rohit, please also leave your details. Right. Moving on, we've got Arul Kiran also who's joined us. Hi, Arul. How are you doing? It's been a while, man. You should call and say hello. I know you're very busy with, all the awards and stuff, but it'll be good to say hello and catch up with you sometime. Arul is one of our very, very early clients who came to New Zealand, I think 2005, 2006, and he's doing extremely well. He owns a company. He runs a company called Focus Marketing in Auckland, and he's doing very, very well. So he's one of our star, students to say, and he's been in New Zealand for over 10 years now. So yeah, so Arul also told us in the past that all AJB students will be interviewed and looked after personally if you're applying to his company for part-time jobs. So I'm saying this on this platform. So guys, please come to us. We've got a lot of support. We've got a lot of people who are willing to help our students find part-time jobs. That is number one reason why you need to come to us, is because we've got a network of people who are willing to support, and a lot of them are our own students who have done well and who have now progressed into full-time jobs. They are willing to help. So yeah, that's another reason why you should come to AJV. Right, moving on. We've got Honey Aurora. Honey Aurora, you said work permit. I've already answered about jobs. So Wahid Ali Abbasi also says need work visa. I already told you guys in one of my previous questions that Wajid, you also say, can you tell me all the information? Unfortunately, that's what it is. Without a job offer, you cannot get a visa. Without a visa, you cannot get a job offer. So it is the chicken and the egg story. So the best way is to come to the country through a student visa pathway, and then, look for further opportunities. I think that will be the best way to approach the situation. Right. Moving on. Next question is the first YouTube query that we have for the day. Um, Arunava Mitra. Okay. If I do a PG in management and do a specialization in accounting, then can I match my qualification as an accountant and with a manager? I'm an AJV client, which will help me to get a job related to my qualification, having 6 years of experience as a tax consultant in two of the big four company. Okay. First of all, Arunava, thank you for working with AJV. It's always good to hear from an AJV student. If you're already working with us and you're already connected to my team, I think we should have a proper discussion on this. I would request you to or send me an email. You can email me at immigrationadvisor@ajvglobal.com. Now, because your question is very, very specific, it is more related to immigration advice. It's not a generic query that I can answer on this platform. I'd like to see what exactly is your goal to come to New Zealand. I understand that is for resident visa. However, we need to understand whether you're doing the right program or not. Yes, we strongly recommend all commerce students to do a generic PG management program instead of doing a specialization, because you will be widening your scope of finding a job if you do a management generic program and compared to a single one. Now, the connected questions that you've asked, Arunava, is something that I can answer only on the phone, because I need to understand what is your you know situation overall, right? So let's have a chat after this. Team, please remind me to speak to Arnava, because is she already, have you already started the application with us? You will need to confirm to me, and then we can take it forward from there, right? Moving on, Nizar Ahmed. My wife has done graduation in architecture, MBA in project management, MTech engineering and management, having 14 years of teaching experience in university. She is interested to migrate to New Zealand. Please guide. Nizar, if you're looking at a migration pathway, the first thing I would suggest is we will need to do an assessment of both your profiles. Yeah. So I would request you to send yours and your wife's CV to immigrationadvisor@ajvglobal.com. So what I'll do is I can do a detailed assessment and tell you whether you can look at a skilled migrant category job search visa, or you should take any other pathway. Yeah. So at the moment, there are only two pathways for people who are not in New Zealand, does not have a master's or an employment offer, is to either take the student pathway, after finishing the course you get your open work permit and apply for a resident class visa after you find employment, or the other pathway is to apply for skilled migrant category job search visa, provided you qualify for it. You need to get 160 points and things like that. So for that, I would all you're looking at the skilled migrant category visas. Please send me your CVs. I need CVs both of yourself and of your partner. Partner means any, if you're married or if you're from a country where you're living together is acceptable by law, then even if you're in a de facto relationship, that can be considered. So please send us both your CVs and we can assess and come back to you. Righto, moving on. Tashi Gyalson is asking what talking about. Okay. Now, Tashi, seriously, I don't know if you have not noticed the title. It very clearly says Migrate to New Zealand. It's a question and answer forum, so I'm not really sure what you're talking about. So yeah, moving on. Sham Neshji. How can I apply for a job in New Zealand? I have done MBA in HR and 6 years of experience in HR department. Need your guidance. What about the procedure? So, Sham, as I mentioned already, um, you will need to be in New Zealand on a valid work visa in order to find employment, right? So it is what I would recommend you to do is send us your details and we will suggest what pathway is available for you, right? As I said, if you're married, we could possibly look at assessing to see if you qualify for a resident class visa through a skilled migrant category job search. Or we can suggest you the alternate option of the study pathway. Yeah, so please send us your details and we'll have a look at that. Yeah. Right. Next question we have from Fakhruddin Kisti. Thank you very much for live. Can applicant apply from Bangladesh for skilled migrant category? Yes. It doesn't really matter from which country you're applying for. But as I mentioned earlier, for the skilled migrant category, you need to basically get 160 points. Plus, you need to meet two other criteria, which is either have employment in New Zealand or have studied a 2 years master's in New Zealand. If you don't have either of these two, but you're able to gain 160 points, then there is something called a skilled migrant category job search visa, right? So that's another category of visa which we can assess you for. So what I would recommend you to do is for you to send your CVs across to us, and we will assess to tell you whether you will qualify for that particular job search visa or not. Now this job search visa also, the other thing is um, the principal applicant has to travel alone to New Zealand on that visa, where you'll be allowed for a year in the country to look for employment that matches the requirement. It has to be of a certain salary and of a certain skill level. So if you're able to achieve that, then your resident visa will be stamped, and then for after 2 years of living on a resident visa, that's when you apply for PR. Because you all keep saying PR, PR. I'm surprised none of them have said PR today. All are talking about skilled migrant category. So that's a good start. Yeah, it's not PR. PR happens only after you have lived in the country for 2 years on a resident visa. Yeah. So that's what it is. So yes, no matter which country you're in, you can definitely look at the skilled migrant category, provided, as I said, you meet 160 points, and we can help you assess that. Please send us your details. You can email it to immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com. After the end of this session, we will certainly leave your details there. Guys, when you're on this live session, if any one of you want to reach out to our team immediately, especially the ones who are in India, I would recommend you to call this number. There's a toll-free number that you can call us on. Yeah, just give me a second. I'll quickly give you that. It's pretty slow on my computer at the moment, so. Right. So the toll-free number that you can contact us, all you based in India, is 1-800-103-6525. And the email address will be info@ajvglobal.com. If you have any query regarding student visas or any generic query, you can write to that ID. If you're looking at particular immigration advice pertaining to resident visas, work visas, dependent visas, visitor visas, anything apart from student visas, please send it to immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com. That comes straight to me. And the phone number that you can connect with me, I'm available on the phone, text, and WhatsApp. That'll be +64 22605 2615. That is the number that you guys can reach me on directly. I'm available on WhatsApp as well. I don't use Viber that much, Viber or Google Duo, but yes, I'm available on WhatsApp. I do check my messages once in a while, so please do send me a text, message over there so that I can respond to you guys. Right. Moving on, the next question is from Ahmed Talab. Please, I graduated from Faculty of Education. Can I study different major like diploma of on cookery, or should I study same major? Now, Ahmed, I don't know why somebody who's been in the Faculty of Education wants to get into culinary. There must be a very good reason. If suppose you're passionate, if you've got that passion towards cookery, that's great. But if you want to get into cookery just because it's on the long-term skill shortage list, it's a bad idea. Because uh, areas like cookery and everything, you need to be extremely passionate. Food is also an art. Food is also an area where there's a lot of creativity, because competition is very, very high even within the hospitality industry. So if you're passionate, and if you're able to prove your passion, then absolutely fine. Because I've had one student who would come from BTech, biotechnology. He finished his 4 years of biotechnology, and he came up to me and said, I want to get into cookery. And then I grilled him and I asked him, why do you want to get in? And then he had a very, very, very clear thought process, and he had very, very clear ideas. He told me, this is what I've done in the past, this is my passion in cookery. I want to become a gastro physicist, or there's something where nowadays there's a lot of thing about molecular food and all that. There's a lot of activity happening on that front. He said, I want to definitely pursue more in this area. So because of that, I was convinced, and because he convinced us, we were able to convince Immigration New Zealand also that he deserves a visa. He knew the basics of what goes into culinary. He understood. You can't say, oh, I get up in the morning and I make breakfast, so I want to get into culinary. It doesn't work that way. You need to have that passion. So what I would suggest is, Emma, if you've got the passion, yes. But if you're doing it just for the sake of doing it because it's on the skill shortage list, it won't work. Because I have seen people also moving from hospitality service into culinary just because it's on the skill shortage, and they have struggled because they simply don't have the acumen for it, yeah, and the passion for it. So yes, you can change your major as long as you're able to convince us first why you want to change. Yeah. So Ahmed, please leave us your details so that we can get in touch and help you with this. Yeah. Moving on, Anudeep Deepu. Hi, ma'am. Hi, Anudeep. And I hope to get your question after this. Right. Um, Nizar Ahmed, what is the minimum requirement in IELTS PT also applied? Nizar, are you asking about IELTS for study, or is it um for a resident? Okay, so you're talking about study pathway. I just scrolled up to check your previous question. Yeah, Nizar, IELTS requirement is different for different programs, but for a postgraduate diploma, you are expected to have a postgraduate diploma or a master's, you're expected to have a 6.5 with no band less than 6. However, certain programs might need you to have certain higher bands, or certain areas like writing and reading, they may expect to have slightly higher band. So it depends on the program, but the absolute minimum for a postgraduate program will be 6.5 with no band less than 6. PTE also, you can Google and check what is the equivalent of that. So Nizar, I'm hoping to get your details so that my team can reach out to you. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. So let me quickly check if my team has left me some questions, comments. I'm just going on and on, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me just quickly check if my team has left me any messages, because I don't seem to. Um, Right. So my team also says it's 61 in PTE. That's the equivalent. Yeah. Right. I've been just answering questions without even checking with you guys if you're like AJV students or not. Right. Ishal, thank you so much. It looks like you're in touch with my team. Rohit Arora, you've already signed up with us. Great. Thank you very much. Arunava, thank you for working with us again. So all these are the ones that are working with us, and thank you so much for that. 61, Nizar, 61 is the requirement in PT for a postgraduate degree, right? Moving on, next question, Amal Raj Nand. Hi, ma'am. I am an average student. Kindly speak about level 7 supply chain management. Amal, you have to first scroll back to my previous, from the beginning of the live session. I've very clearly mentioned, I've discussed about the level 7 program already. I've discussed about supply chain. So first of all, please, there's nothing like an average student or whatever. We really don't need scholars here in New Zealand. We need people with skills. Doesn't matter if you're not great in academics. If you're street smart, that's what we call in India, right? Street smart. If you're smart and you've got the skills that you can apply at your job, you're good to go. You'll do really well in New Zealand. We New Zealand is a small country. They don't need highly academically qualified people. They need people with high levels of skills, right? So it's okay if you're an average academic student, doesn't really matter. What is important is how well you do in your studies. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys, I think most of the Indian students would have seen Three Idiots, right? So you see that, yeah, that guy was also very intelligent in his studies, but then in his studies also he was very good. But then what is it is you're learning how you're able to apply in your job is more most important. That's what it is. Okay. So I have seen a lot of students in the past, my own classmates when I was in college, where they would barely make notes. But when they're sitting in a class, they're able to capture all that information, and eventually they're able to put it down. And they're doing extremely well. All those people, who have just passed, just with basic. One of my very very close friends is actually here in New Zealand, who was below average as a student, but then he's doing very very well here in New Zealand. He's come here, he's applied for his resident class visa, he's working with Yellow Pages, so he's doing extremely well. So I have seen students being below average also doing extremely well if you're able to apply yourselves at work. That is important. And have very good levels of English. Okay. So Amal, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. However, I would thank you for giving me your number. Team, please connect with Amal straight away. And also, can you tell me, team, if Amal's working with us already? So that'll be good to thank him while he's still here watching this live. So Amal, yes, I think we can definitely help you with the level 7 program in supply chain. As I mentioned earlier, you need to have some kind of a background and experience to be able to do well in that area, because supply chain, yeah, so Amal's already working. Okay, he's already talking to us. But Amal, my team is telling me that your parents are not ready because we don't have an office in India. Okay, we've got 40 people sitting down in India, and we are a New Zealand based company. So first of all, you need to tell your parents that, yeah, we don't have a physical office, but our the way we work is very very highly efficient. We're highly professional. You can talk to our other clients who are already in New Zealand. We don't have a need to have an office because we are that efficient, or even better than all those people who have so-called offices in New Zealand, sorry, in India. Plus the other thing is, what is important is we are based here in New Zealand. So you have to tell your parents that what is important is, after I go to New Zealand, I have support. Doesn't matter sitting in India, having an office doesn't make any sense, because once you take the flight and come to New Zealand, then there is nobody that they can connect to. If there is a problem, the student is left, left, what do you say, in the dark, and the student has to figure out all by himself. But if you're an AJV student, we are here on the ground. If you can talk to our AJV clients, you will understand what kind of support we provide them. We are available, to them at for any problem. Absolutely, we connect them with our other students. We're constantly in touch with them. We have meetings. We've got networking events. We meet them for dinner. We have fun. We go trekking. We have also we are planning to do a little more events in terms of picnics and stuff like that. So there's a lot of activity. Plus, importantly, we are planning to set up an employment services where we will support you, and also support you not just while you're studying, but till you get your resident class visa. So please tell your parents, Amal, that it's important that there is somebody here in New Zealand, not in India. In India, we've got a team of 40, and we are very very proud of the way we work. Even though we work from home offices, right now I'm sitting at my home and I'm doing. But then the kind of information that I can provide. In fact, you should ask your parents to watch this live session. If you're based in Chennai, and I think you're probably a Malayali. I don't speak Malayalam, but then I'm happy to talk to your parents if you like. I can ask my team to give you my number here in New Zealand. I've already shared it on this chat, on this live session. Please get your parents on the phone with me, and I will talk to them and I'll tell them why they need to work with us. Yeah. So I'm happy to do that. Right. So Amal, reality check. Doesn't matter if whether we are having an office in India or not. It's important that we are based here in New Zealand. That is more important and that's more relevant. Yeah. So please talk to your parents about that. Right. Fakhruddin says, thanks for your excellent presentation. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Anamika says, I applied for student visa. I'm an AJV student. Thank you very much, Anamika, for working with us. Do you think I'll get a response in a month? What if I get approval after course start? Will that be a problem reaching after course start? Anamika, I am honestly, this is something that I don't want to talk in this live session at the moment, because this is very, very personal, and I cannot discuss specific course related specific client related. It's not right. It's because you've already applied and you're officially our client, a signed up client. I cannot discuss your visa details. So best is I will talk to my team. I will talk to Jinal, who's our service team manager. Let me see where your application is, and if you'd like, I can have a chat with you after this session and I can tell you what to expect. But if you get the approval after course start, we may be able to get you some extension from the college. Yeah. But then I cannot give you an exact update whether you'll get a response within a month or not. I will need to check whether your case is in the queue or whether it's been allocated. Where it is at, I cannot discuss that at the moment. I will check with my team and get back to you on that, right? Nizar wants me to repeat my WhatsApp number. So that is +6422605261. That is the number you can reach me on. Right. Angelo says how to contact you or your agent from Sri Lanka. Angelo, I think what you can do is you can inbox me your details and my team will connect with you. And I can connect you via the Facebook chat itself. You can start talking to them. My team is very, very efficient to stay in touch with people who are overseas apart from India, who are not living in India. So we have got very, very good successes. We've had very good success with Pakistani students, with Sri Lankan students, Bangladeshi and Nepali students. Because we're all pretty much in the same time zone, so it's very, very convenient. And said that we have got a lot of visas for from Egypt, Dubai, from the African countries. So time zone really doesn't matter. My team works around the clock. Yeah. So we don't have that issue. So please connect with us no matter from which part of the world you are in. Yeah. So let's, Angelo, please leave me your details. My team will reach out to you and help you further on this. Okay. Right. Zahida. Zahida asks, with the skilled workers option, would IT be a secure, would it be best to secure a job before the time or should one look for work once approved? And is there assistance for new migrants with work options? The skilled migrant job search category uh, is for people to be, it's an open visa basically for you to come to the country and find a job. So if you're able to apply from overseas, that's fine, but employers will not be willing to look at your CV while you're still overseas, because there's a lot of risks involved and the employers are not willing. Having said that, there are a lot of people who have been offered jobs where especially in IT, where you've got a very, very good profile and they look at your previous experience. If you've worked with multinationals, they're willing to give you a job offer. So go ahead and apply and see. If there is a job offer, then we could definitely look at a skilled migrant category directly, but if not, then it's going to be a job search visa. So is there assistance for new migrants with work options? See, there are a lot of government departments over here who help new migrants to find jobs. Not find jobs per se, um, but to but to prepare yourself for the workforce. Yeah, how to apply, where to apply, what kind of CVs to be used, how to approach. So yes, there is a assistance from the government, but you need to have the skills. That is the most important thing. Yeah. So Zaida, please leave us your details, or send us your CV so that I can do an assessment and get back to you if you're qualified for that particular category, right? um, Adil Nasir says, what I have to do for migrant. Adil, you have to first send us your CV. First, you need to undo your question and type it again. First, and you need to also type New Zealand properly. There's a space between U and Z's. New and Zealand. So please ensure you correct that. But anyway, so first send us your CV in for us to do an assessment and we'll get back to you. Raidu Geda, can I get a work visa in hotels? Raidu, my answer will be the same. I have already answered this before. Is that you need to have a job offer for the visa, and for the visa you need a job offer. So it is better you always are in the country and apply for a visa. So it comes through a student pathway and then look at prospects of finding a job, right? Amal Raj says, I'm an AJV student. I've completed BCom, looking for supply chain management and fintech. What are all the benefits? Amal, I think this is a continuation from your previous one. So, Amal, thanks for leaving your number. Your question, I think what my team can do, because we have already discussed about your situation a few minutes ago, best thing for you to do is for you to wait for a call from my team, and we can discuss this further and sort it out for you. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a one-on-one chat and sort it out for you. Ahmed Talab, I understand, please. I hear that the student visa for different major refuse, can I apply to same majority of graduated? Okay, Ahmed, I'm sorry, but I'll have to tell you, your English seems to be an issue over here. You will need to. I hope you are taking help with your English, because you will need to have an IELTS score, especially if you want to do a PG in New Zealand. You need a 6.5. Even if you're looking at a graduate diploma, you need an IELTS of 6. So, Ahmed, you need to really work on your English, for one. Second is, yes, in the past, we've got visas for people who have changed streams. So, it is very case to case. So, we will have to see how it works. Please leave us your number and we will talk to you specifically depending on your case and your situation, whether it's going to work or not. Yeah. So you cannot change after you've arrived to New Zealand. Please do not do that mistake. If you try and do a change of course after you've arrived to New Zealand, you get into further trouble. So please do not do that. Yeah. Moving on, Ashish Singh, can I get a work visa in civil engineering? Um, Ashish, that's a very good question. Civil engineers are in the long-term skill shortage list. Okay. There is a possibility you can get a work, you can get a job offer, because there is so much of shortage. If you apply online, there could be some company who's willing to offer you a job, but you will not get an open visa. Like the all these people, all you people who are asking me questions about work visa. So when you're saying, can I get a work visa, it does not work like that, where you get an open visa to look for a job. There are something called a holiday makers visa. It's only valid for certain countries like the UK and other countries. Some countries, people have an open entry for New Zealand. They don't need a visa. Like Chinese people with Chinese passports, they don't need. So unfortunately for Indians, we have very limited options. You don't have an open visa there where you can come into the country and look for jobs, right? So you either get a skilled migrant category job search visa, or you come through a student pathway, look for study, and then get an open work visa. So you need to find a job first if you need a work visa, if you're overseas, right? And most employers may not be willing to do that because they don't want to get into the complications of trusting someone who's across the oceans. They want somebody who's in the country. They don't want any complications in terms of having to do any kind of verifications and everything. So Ashish, I think you need to talk to us and see what are the other pathways available. Please leave your details so that we can talk to you further, right? Raidu, as I mentioned already, please send us your CV and we will do an assessment and tell you what is the possibilities of migration to New Zealand. Um, Binod, I just mentioned that it's not PR. I think you have just come in to this live session. You cannot apply for PR without being a resident for 2 years in the country. PR means permanent resident, and permanent resident happens only if you be a resident first, right? So you need to first become a resident. So that pathway is pretty long. So email us your CVs to see whether you qualify for the skilled migrant category job search visa, right? So you can email it to immigration@ajvglobal.com and we will get back to you on that. Yeah. So you send me your CV and of your wife. Sounds good. Moving on. Ma'am, please add my number on WhatsApp also. Okay, Nizar, please, you'll have to send me a message and I'll then accept it, right? Raj Sawant says, I'm 29. Can I study in New Zealand? You're not that old, man. The average age of the students who are working with us at the moment is, I think, 33 on an average. We've got students way up to 50 years of age, and we have got students as young as, in fact, as young as 5 years, because they come through with their parents as, dependent children. But yeah, we've got all age categories, but the adults who are actually applying for a student visa, the average age is 33, right? You can absolutely study at 29. It's a good time, because also at 29 you know what is your career focus, you know where you're headed. Unlike someone who's a fresh graduate, you don't know which way you can go. But at 29, I'm sure you've got some experience and some understanding of where you want to go and what kind of career you want to have. 29 is a very, very good age, so please, I would strongly recommend you to pursue your thought of looking at studying in New Zealand. I'll have my team reach out to you, and Raj, please share your details with us so that my team can connect with you as well, right? Karan Ahuja, moving on. Karan Ahuja, may I know if 160 points can make me eligible for New Zealand SMC? Okay. Karan, I just mentioned that if you have 160 points um, and do not have a job offer in New Zealand, or have not studied 2 years masters in New Zealand, then you will only be eligible for a skilled migrant category job search visa. However, guys, don't think it's as easy as applying for a work visa. You will not get a work visa in a few weeks. It takes a detailed process. It's as laborious as it is for a skilled migrant category visa. That is the resident visa, basically. So it's a long process. It takes on an average of 6 to 8 months. You'll have to be prepared for that. Yeah. So yes, you can apply for SMC job search visa if you have 160 and you do not have a job offer, Karan. Yeah. So Karan, please share your details with us so that we can discuss further. Amal, I see that you're pasting the same question again. Um, Sorry, I think I just skipped a bit. Hold on. Guys, just bear with me a bit. I'm just trying to right. Ahmed says the video gets cut off. I think it just loads. There's a bit of internet connectivity issues over here. Karan says, I have distance learning in MBA when I was working. May I claim 20 points for level 9? Karan, this is again very specific. I am not supposed to discuss any specific case queries. I would recommend you to please send me your CV so that I can assess and get back to you. So my email address is immigrationadvisor@ajvglobal.com. Please send it to us and I will assess and get back to you. Right? Alan Hussain says, I got 6.5 in listening, reading, and writing, and 5.5 in speaking. Can I get admission in a postgraduate diploma in education? Alan, guys, please tell me if Alan's one of our students. It's a very, very specific question. So if I need to answer that, I really need to understand. Karan, I see that you're already talking to my team member, Catherine. So, yeah, so if you're already talking to us, have you already sent us your CV? Okay. Right. Sorry, I was just checking the messages from my team. So, Karan, I think you need to send us your I will check with Catherine if your CVs are with us, and I will do an assessment and suggest further to you. Right? Alan, first of all, you've got a very low IELTS speaking band. You need to have an absolute minimum 6 for a PG. But for education, I think there's a slightly higher requirement. Yeah. So you will need to discuss with us whether you're even suitable for that program, because if you've got a less English score, then you will have trouble doing well in that course. Especially education is a very, very high level program. So we will need to see if that is the appropriate program for you. Please leave us your details so that we can get in touch. Team, please tell me if Alan's already working with us. Alan Hussain. Um, Shadam Katak. I am electrical engineer. How can I apply? Apply for what? Please specify. Um, please specify what would you like to apply for. Yeah, and as I mentioned already, work visas out of question. Student visas, definitely there's a pathway. Yeah. Alan says I'm MEd MSc from India, but I do not have any experience. Alan, I see that you've got very, very good qualifications, but we need to really understand to see what will be better for you and what is your, if you don't have an experience, that means you don't know where you're headed, whether you want to get into teaching, whether you want to get into more specific in something in physics. Probably that'll be a better option for you, because education as such is you need to have very high levels of English to teach. um, we will need to see if maybe it's better off for you to get into physics directly, study something related to physics. Yeah. So have a chat with us and we will see where we can fit you in. Yeah. Vikrant Saini says, I'm civil engineer, how can I apply? Guys, you'll have to be very specific with your questions. Apply for what? If you're looking at um, Shad Shadman says you can't answer my question. Shadman, you need to tell me what exactly you're looking at. Are you looking at a student visa, or you're looking at, I don't know what you're saying, apply for what? Please clarify that. Yeah. Um Milan Suratia. Hello, I've completed my BE in electronics and communication field, and my CGPA is whatever, 7.47. I got 6 bands in IELTS with no band less than 5.5, which is good. Now I'm quite worried about these course selection of electronics or software field. Likewise, I am. That's a pretty long question, man. I'm confused. Okay. Institute selection. So please give me some right advice related to my qualification, because I'm very confused. Milan, if you are an electronics and communication student, first of all, electronics is in the skill shortage list. And telecommunication engineers, I would strongly recommend you to continue in the same area. If you're looking at IT and software, that's even a very, very good industry to get into. So I would strongly recommend you to look at that as an option. Um, um, with regards to college, I spoke to somebody at MIT. MIT is a very, very good school, so you can look at the programs that they have. But we need to look at your IELTS if that is enough, because certain courses may need you to have 6 in reading and writing, because engineering has very high cutoff again. So we will need to see whether you meet the requirements. So Milan, are you an AJV student? Doesn't look like you're an AJV student. So I think you will need to reach out to us, and we will be able to help you if you reach out to us. We need to see what 7.47 CGPA is good. That means it's around 70%, which is very, very good. So we may be able to get you into a good school. However, your IELTS may be a concern. Yeah, MIT is a good choice, guys, for any engineering program. Talk to my team, and we've got very, very good working association with MIT, and we'll be able to get you in. Right. So Milan, talk to us, and we will help you further. Raj Savant says, I am so. Can you answer me again? Because there was. Raj, I'm sorry, I've scrolled very, very further down. I wouldn't know what is your question. Why don't you connect with me after this session? Let's have a chat on Facebook, and you can just ping me, and I can help you further. Yeah. Um, Just few more minutes, guys. I think at the in maximum another 3-4 minutes, we will be done with this live session. If I'm missing out on any of your questions, my team will reach out and we'll be able to help you after this live session as well. Also, most of the questions would have been answered already in in previously. So you might want to watch if you've come through half the way through the live session. You might want to see the entire live so that your questions have been answered or not. Sarita Arora says, "How can we get a work visa?" Sarita, I just answered that question. Um, Shadam, if you Shadam, I already answered that question. Work visa is not possible straight away. An open work visa where you can come and find a job, not possible while you're overseas. You need to have a job offer letter, and employers want to see you in the country with a valid work visa to be able to give you an offer. So, not possible for you to apply for a work visa straight away. Sorry about that. Amal, after studying level 7 and doing a level 8 program can give me again 3 years. The policy says that if you do a course higher than your previous course, then you will be eligible for another post study, subsequent post study work visa. Yes, that's what the policy says at the moment, and there's not been any change on that, right? So that's how it is. Very well. I think we're good on time. It's 11:31 for me. It's exactly 1 hour since I started this live. So, guys, thank you very much. Um, if Amal, my team tells me that you only keep asking us questions, but you don't want to go further with the process, Amal, you will have to commit to us. I have now, registered your name, so I will not answer any more further questions unless you're willing to work with us. If you're working with somebody else and they're not able to answer the questions that you are asking, that means you're not working with the right person, right? So you will need to decide and you will need to commit to us before you ask us any further questions. You need to send in your documents and start working with us before I share any further information. Sorry guys, I told this on the previous sessions as well. If you want something from us, we need to see your commitment as well towards us. You need to work with us, you need to be our clients for us to commit and provide you all the information. And we are very very partial to AJV students. We are blunt, and to non-AJV students, we tell them that we cannot extend help. It's because um, we want our students to feel special. We want our students to have that benefit and privilege of working with us. If we are giving free information to all, then it's just unfair for AJV students who are willing to put in their commitment towards us. Yeah. So if you want information from us, guys, please work with us. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Also, we are based here in New Zealand, so the support that you get is much higher when compared to most other agencies who wouldn't even know how things are reality on the ground because they're not based here in New Zealand, right? So I'm signing off today from today's session. um, with a note saying, again, all you looking at the February and March intake, you have to absolutely get in now. You have to start now. There is still a small window for the ones who are looking at the March intake, Feb and March intake. A small window, and we can still make it happen if you can, if you're willing to. The other thing is, I will sign off with the numbers to contact us. India toll free number will be 1800 103 6525. Email address will be info@hjvglobal.com. If you want to reach us here in New Zealand, you can write us at immigration advisor at hjvglobal.com. And my number where you can call, text, or WhatsApp is +64 22 605 2615. Thank you very much for watching and patiently asking questions. Thank you for coming online. Thank you for all those here based in New Zealand, even though it's pretty late, you're watching this live session. Thank you, guys, and catch you next time. Thank you very much.